buddies. Welcome to class 1 of Data Sci with Navi. About comments. So these comments are typically like the text that the coder has to tell. For example, we've made a project which is of a large code, number of pages and stuff. So we could not remember exactly why we have did this line or why we have put a certain amount of code into the program, right? To remember that, we should have doc strings. Doc strings are these strings that make us understand why certain function is used or why certain particular variables are used, why a certain part of code is used or repeated again. So these doc strings make us to understand more about code in a human language. So these are called as comments. Typically, comments can be a single line comment or a multi-line comment. So let us understand this. Here you see the single line comments are like we have to, before each line there has to be a hashtag before the single line comment. And even though it is code, that particular line of code doesn't exist. For example, I'll now normally write as print of double quotation Navya. Okay, so after I print this, it will print as Navya. And then what I'll do is, now I'll just hashtag before it. Okay, if I do this, this becomes a comment line. Though I write the code inside it, it doesn't run the particular line. That's what comments are for. So typically we do not put a print or anything else. We just explain what is the code about, that we put in a comment line. For example, I'm going to put a function. That function is going to find out the Fibonacci series or anything else that should be put inside a comment line. If it is a single line, you can just use a hashtag using a single line comment, or you can use this multi-line comment or multi-line comments or single line comments. For example, if I do print Navya, this is gonna be a code. Okay, if I want to just write what is the code about, you can use either a single line comment like this, which is a hashtag. We'd be putting what is the code, explain the code about printing name Navya. Printing name Navya. So this is what you're going to put about, so print Navya. This is a single line comment. Similarly, you can even write a multi-line comment, something like this. You have to put either a single quotes like this triple times, or you can also put double quotes for triple times. Whatever you write inside this would be a comment. For example, I'm writing teaching Python basics. So this is Python basics. I'd write class 1. Okay, and then I'd put it as some statement example similar to this print statement class 1. So I'm printing this. We are going to print only print class 1. We are not going to print whatever the comment is there. You can put like this. Multiple lines of comment can be put inside the triple quotes. Whatever it might be, it will not affect the code, running of the code. Only the code part will run instead of the comment. Understand about keywords. Keywords are typically the words that we create for either naming a function or which is already named a predefined function or a variable. Hence, there are few rules for renaming a function or a variable or a calling function or anything. So those variables are either always the function can be a combination, the name of function can be a combination of a letters, capital letters it might be, small letters it might be, or numbers. These are particular rules that we have to define while we are creating an identifier or while we are creating keywords. One is it must always start with letters but not with numbers. It can end with numbers or you can have numbers in between the name of these variables, but it should not start with a number. You can also include an underscore, but make sure you do not put a space in the name of the variable. You can create a variable something like this. For example, we are going to create a, let me create a variable called as keyword, K-E-Y, key. You have to put underscore instead of space, word. never it is supported an a space inside a keyword. You can give a variable for it, you can name it like 1 2 3 or whatever it is, or a double quotation stating if it is a string. This keyword can end with a variable. For example, I'm just creating this keyword and then printing the keyword. In Jupyter notebook or in any Python notebook, you don't have to write a specially like print statement. Instead, you can just put a variable at the end, so it will print the variable. So word, and then it prints the keyword value which is 1. Okay, so I can put a number at the ending. For example, I can put keyword 1. That also works, but it should never start with a variable. The variable should never start with the name 1. So that is a syntax error, because the syntax follows the rules wherein number shouldn't be at the starting, but it can be in the middle or it can be in the end. Okay, so cannot conflict Python's inbuilt keywords. There are few keywords of Python like and, true, false. These are like multiple keywords that are inbuilt for Python. Okay, so we should not use these keywords as the keywords that we are going to build. Okay, for example, if I use okay, so now I'm going to create one more cell to show. We have one of a keyword called as and. Okay, so this is an and keyword. I cannot use this keyword as the user defined keyword, because and of course is a Python inbuilt one. Similarly, or there is in membership operator. In we'll learn about membership operator in the later classes. So I don't want this because it shouldn't interpret. So what I'll do is I'll just put a hashtag for it. It becomes a comment as we understood earlier. Okay, you should not have it start with a number, and it should always start with a letter or an underscore. It should not be a Python inbuilt variable or a keyword name or a predefined function name. Instead, that it can be anything else. The remaining characters can be letters or numbers or underscore, whatever it is. It doesn't affect, because that is what we discussed at the starting should always be a letter or underscore. Remaining can be anything. Okay, so case sensitive example variables and variables are different. I'm here, I have created keyword equals to 1. Okay, now I'm going to create another variable where only I'll be putting capital K. Okay, key y, k e y, key word. I put same 1 equals to, but I'll put the value of it as Python. Okay, so let me now print this keyword. So this is Python. Okay. Now I'll print if keyword 1 equals to keyword 1. See, this keyword has keyword 1. So this keyword has keyword 1, whereas capital K, and this has a small k. So let us see how it is. So this is false. So keyword capital K, whatever the uppercase value, is not equals to the smaller case values. Both are different. Python is a case sensitive programming language. We have to remember this every time we are going to do it. Okay. So now let us understand about strings. So typically the strings are the combination of letters together. Okay, so how do we define string? You do not have to put the data type before creating the variable or while you're creating the variable. That is not necessary. Python will interpret by itself according to the value that we assign to that variable. Okay, for example, so yeah, I can just create like a str1 equals to, I can just create a string with either a single quotation Python. Okay, or either I can do it like str2, okay, equals to pass. So now sorry, here I'll put a double quotation, that also means the same. Okay, class. So you can just print it and see it. If you want to print multiple variables at one place, you can just give str1 comma str2. Okay, So that can also be done, but the output variable will be a tuple. As I told you, tuple will be enclosed in these brackets kind of thing. So this will give us the output of tuple. Okay, so this is string 1 is Python and string 2 is class. It will be printed according to the name or the now, string concatenation. Let us understand what is string concatenation. It is typically combining or adding two strings together. Okay, for string concatenation, there are multiple possible ways that we can do. Okay, the first one is simply you can put it as I'll just put it as string str equals to combination of str 1 plus, here plus acts as a concatenator, okay, plus str2. So this simply combines the both string. Let me just print how the string looks. So this is Python class combined together just as this. If you want a space, either there is one thing you can add space to the class, okay, so this can be done. Your Python class has a space in it, and next one, if you print, it will add a space. But there is a better way of doing it without adding the space to the class variable. Okay, so here I'm not doing this. Instead of that, what I'm doing is after concatenating, after adding the first thing, I am going to put a double quotation, and this is a space. This acts as a one more string, and then again plus operator here. So here we are combining two strings, but before that we are adding a space in between them. Okay. So here we can use the string concatenate. So here, if you want to determine the length of a string, then we can use an inbuilt function called as len, L-E-N. So this function determines how many letters are there in a particular word, or if you give a big paragraph, Python is the blah 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 blah, then it will give the length of this whole string. I'll show you the both. For example, I'll put it as a len of, let us put it as str1. Okay, so str1 is Python, where we have, of course, letters. So this is Python class. Here there is a gap as well. So let us understand what does this give. So I'm going to put it as len and then str. Okay. So here let us count the one. Here this is 6. Again this is 5. But here the answer is 12. It has also counted a space. The space is also counted as a character in the string. Okay. So string indexing. Indexing, which means referring a string. For example, there is a string 1, str1. The value of it is Python. What if I need the third, whatever the third letter of this word? Okay. So string indexing, referencing to particular each letter of the string, is referred as a zeroth index. That means the starting of a string is always 0. So this is the zeroth index, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this string indexing, as it starts with 0, the last letter of the string will be len minus 1, whatever the length of a string minus 1. Okay. So if I want to access t from that, what would it be? It would be simple str1 and then brackets of it. The t is the third element, which means 3 minus 1, that would be 2. Okay. So that is the letter T of it. That's how we can index it. Okay. So string conversion. If I want to convert a string into other, we have to make sure that the formats match. If I want to convert a string which is 45 to a number, that is possible, because 45 is a number but it is represented as a string because of the double quotation or a single quote. For example, str3, let us take str3 equals to double quotation or a single quotation 45 or 46. Okay, so str3, I'm just putting it as, so this is actually a this is actually a number, but because of the single quotation, this is represented as let us check if it is right or not. So type of str3, sorry, type type of str3. So that is a string. Okay. If I want to convert this, then what I'll do, I'll just put it like this: string then int of str3. So that is 45. Now if I put the type of this, for example, I put it as str3 again. Yes. Now if I put it as str3 again, and if I check type once more, then of course it will give me int, because this is a character that is referenced. Okay, I'll just copy paste this in another cell to show you again how that references. Okay, so this is a string, but I'm putting here as basic. Now this is a string, right? But now what if I convert this string into a int? If I do that, that raises an error, value error, because basics is typically a string, but it is not formatable into int as it has letters. If you want to format it into int, you need a numerical. Either it can be anything like with a decimal or anything. Let us check for decimals as well. So we will have a quite idea about does it work for decimal. I am going to put 7.45. Okay, 7.45 and then run it. Okay, this 7.45 also cannot be typecasted or converted into a string, because this is a decimal which should be converted into a float. Let us see if it works as a float. This is a keyword for converting it into a float function. Okay, so this is a float that can be converted into a float. We have to check whatever we are converting, so which kind of conversion should happen. Even you can do this, you can convert this what do we say, if it is not a float but it is an integer. Let us understand this an integer. This is an integer 7, but if I convert into a float, that is possible. Integer can be converted into a float, but we have to make sure that it matches the particular criteria. Okay, so string slicing, this is one of the most important thing, because we would be using this more into our data science project, or understanding the data, to refer the data, to slice the data to get only the substring of the strings. Okay, so slicing typically has three parameters. Let me understand, let me explain it to you clearly. Let me explain it to you clearly. So this is typically, as I told you, string parameter has a three values. Okay, slicing. If I want to slice it, if I want to slice str value, this is let us take it as str value, which is Python class. Okay, so this is a string value. So for referencing or a string or indexing a string, we'll take the values like this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And this space also counts, that is 6. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. This has len is equals to 12, but the indexing will be len minus 1, that is 11. Okay, so if I want to index the string for y, then I'll put it as 1, right? If I want n, then I'll put it as 5. Similarly, if you want to slice the string, what you'll put it as str, and then similar to indexing, we'll be putting square brackets. But from where do you want to slice? From Python, I want to slice from Python y, so I'll put it as 1. From 1 colon, I until where, what is the ending point of it? So for example, I want to take until L. So L is number 8. Okay, so 8. This is the start, from where do you want to start the string, and this is the end. But if you write until 8, one thing will be missing is L. It will not consider the last character. 8 will not be considered. It will be sliced until C. Let us see if this works first. Okay. So I'm going to put it as str of, okay, from 1 colon 8. All right. So here only until C should come. See, only until C. But as I told you, I need until L. Okay. So until L, then this 8. Okay. So this 8 would be converted into 9. So str of 1 colon 9. Then we'd get until L. So if I put here LT, if I change 8 into 9, then we'll get into class. Okay. But there is also one more thing that we have to consider. What is that? If I want to take, if I want to make a substring of this Python class, but I want to take only the alternate letters. I want to take P, I want to take T, I want to take O. Means I'm taking only the alternate values, alternate letters, something like this. Then also it can be done. str of from 1. I'm taking from 0 to the ending. Okay. So I'll just put this, which means it will take whole of it, whole Python class. Let us also test this before getting into alternate letters. So I'm going to test this, which means I'm going to just put here as colon and see the whole thing would be taken into consideration, Python as well as class, right? If you put colon, that means you take from the starting to ending. I don't know what number of characters are there, but I want to take a whole. Okay, something like this. So in reference to this, if I want to take alternate, then I'll put str of colon to colon, and then I'll take 2, which means I'd be taking every second character into the consideration. Let us see how it works in the code. So in the same place, I'm just putting it space, one more colon, but 2 here. See here, you see P, Y is not there, T, H is not there, O, N is not there, and then space is there, C is not there, L, A is not there, S, other S is not there. That's how it works. Okay. If you want to take every third letter, you can just put 3 in that place. Similar to that, every fourth letter, every fifth letter, something like that. So that's how string slicing works. So string slicing is very important because we are going to do string slicing in many places. So you can just here also you can put a comment line here. See, I'm going to put a multi-line comment stating like this. Triple quotations, right? As I told you, triple quotations and string slicing works from start to end with what is that we are doing with the amount which letter that we want. So number of place to be taken. Okay, I'm sorry, place to be taken. Okay, so this is a multi-line command, so I can just put it like any number of lines, but that doesn't affect my programming. That's how it is. So let us continue. Next is string case conversion method. Case conversion is typically, so lowercase, you know what is lowercase, what is uppercase, and what is capitalized, right? So let us string case conversion. Let us now understand for upper. So what is the string that we want to do for upper? String 1 str1, that I'd be doing into upper function, upper, upper function. So simple string, whatever string that you want to do and what function you're gonna do. Okay, so string was Python, which is small letters, and now it is capital letters. I'll also print string here so you will know the difference. Str, okay, sorry, str1. Okay, so see, this is the Python upper and this is the Python lower, and also you can do for whatever the lowercase. Okay, str2, string 2 had the capital class CLASS, so this capital C would be converted. I'll put it as whole CLASS. Hmm. So here string 2, whatever the 2, string 2 dot lower I do. Okay. So this lower is also a keyword, Python inbuilt keyword, which you cannot use it as a our user defined keyword. Okay. So see, this class has converted into lower. You can even see string 2 here, str2. Okay. And capitalize. Let us understand what is capitalizes. I'll take whatever the string we have, str dot capitalize. So this is capitalize function. What does capitalize function? As you see, you can understand what does it do. It makes the first letter capital in a sentence. Okay. So we also have title. So I'll just put str dot title. So see, what does title do? It does capitalize every first letter of every word. There are 100 words. Every first letter of every word is going to convert it into a capital letter. You can just compare it to string again. str. Okay. So this is how it is. We are going to why we are going to use upper, lower, capitalized title is just to make our strings readable and have a uniformity in a database or in a data frame. Anything, how do we have uniformity in that? For converting into lower and upper, capitalizing title, making it as title, something like that. And there are functions like find, replace, count, split, join, and format. Let us understand one by one. So we'll get into it. First is find. So if I'm having a string str, string, I'm putting it as a string again. String equals to, I'm going to put it as this. Um, Python. Python is the, this is the sentence I put. Python is the easiest computer language. If I want to find the computer in this, okay, so I'll put it as string string dot find. What do we have to find? We have to find computer. Okay, so I'll put it as computer, computer. Oh, I sorry. There is it's not ending. So here you see, if I put find computer, then it is giving 22. Okay, which means here if we count the len of it from 0th index, then computer C starts from the 22nd place or the 22nd index. Okay, so if you count it works, but I'll just do is for easiest thing to see if it is correct. So it's in the 7th place. This is 6 numbers, this is 6 letters and one more space, including I is the 7th one. Okay, so that's how it is. And there is one called as, there is one more thing called as index. For example, I'm putting something else in it like Navya. Okay, and it is giving us -1, which means we do not have this particular string inside our string or inside our sentence. Okay, so there is another thing called as index. Okay, instead of find you can put it as index, string of dot index, which gives the index. So if it is an is, it definitely gives an index just like find. Okay, but if it is as we said, so this raises an error. Okay, so this gives us a value error instead of giving the -1 that we had in find, but index typically gives an error. Okay, so you can ask me why do we use index, though we have find in few things we have errors, we'll put key and expect blocks to rule out the error and to give a particular value or particular statement if we do not find the value in the particular string. Okay, so I'm just doing this here. So one more, and let us understand the replace. Replace in the string, if I have easiest, I'm going to replace easiest as a simple computer language in it. Then I'll put like this: string string dot replace. What we are going to replace? We are going to replace easiest. Okay. Let us see and print if it works. So Python is the simple computer language. So whatever you want to replace, that can be replaced. It need not specifically be one word. It can also be like that. Easiest space. If I put like this, then even space com also will be replaced as a simple. Okay, did you see this? So that can also be done because this is whole. The whole thing is a string in this case. And next is count. Count simply counts how many times a particular letter or particular substring is inside a big sentence. Okay, let us try that as well. So if I put Python is the easiest, again I'll put is again here. Okay, just to make is count twice. So here what I'll do, string dot, what we do here, count. Counting what? Counting is here. So is occurred for two times. It need not specially be a substring. It can even be I, a single character. So I is occurred three times. One is for here, one is for here, and other is for here. Similarly, A, B, C, D, anything. Whatever particular character, how many times is the occurrence of that particular character is measured here. Now let us understand about the join function. So how does the join function work? For example, if I have a list, a list, something like this. Hello world, Python is awesome. Okay, this is one of the list wherein hello is a separate string, world is a separate string, Python is a separate one, is a separate, and awesome separate. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to join this separated words of string to one. Okay, so then I'd put it as words, where I have to join a double quotation, I have to join in the spaces with the space. If you want a space in it, you can put like this. If not, just join and then words. Sorry. Dot this is. So here, hello world, Python is awesome. Everything is combined. If you wanted like spaces, then here you're gonna add spaces. Okay, if you want a slash, you can add slash. If you want underscore or hyphen, anything, you can add it in that single quotation before join, and what you're gonna join, that you're adding into the parenthesis or in the brackets. Okay, that's how join works. And dot format. So for example, I have the string 1 and string 2, right, which Python and class. This is class 1. I just want to print this is class 1. Okay, so what I do, I take another one. Sorry, I forgot to explain the split. For example, this is words, right? This is I'll put word 2, WORD, word 2. So this is word 2. Now I wanna split this word 2. Okay, word 2 dot split, split function. So this typically splits the string into again its original version of the words. Okay, word 2 is exactly equals to words. That's how the split works. So let us now understand about format. Oh, I'm sorry. Let us now understand about the format, which is, for example, whatever understanding Python, we know the string 1 on the top, str1 was Python, str2 is the class. If I want to put it as Python class is awesome. If I want to put it as this is the first class of Python. Okay, class and then Python. So I'll just put it in a double quotation. Let me show you how. Okay, so what is my thing? This is the class one. Class is a variable that we had on the top. Class one of Python, right? This is what was my string, right? So first one is format, right? Format of what we want here. First is the class, that is str2 comma and Python str1. So this is class 1 of Python. If I want to make this class 1 into the lower, you know the rule, right? Dot lower, lower. Okay. So what does it do? It just converts the class into lower class. This is class 1 of Python. So that's how we are gonna do the format function. This we can use it in a print. If you want to print some statement, you don't want to use that plus and all, then you can do. But instead of this, there is a new function that we used that we use for above 3.6 version of Python is f function. So you can just do it like this: f double quotation or the single quotation and whatever that you want to put. This is the this is a str2 dot lower function 1 of Python. Python is again the string to write str1 of this. Okay. Also gives us the same one, which is without the format function. We can use the f. F is a function. F is, you can use a single quotation or even a double quotation. That doesn't make any difference. But wherever you want to put the value of the variable, you're going to put this curly brackets. In the curly brackets, you're going to write the variable name here. Okay. So whatever you want to write, you can just do that, and you can even put the function name. If I want to, example, if I have str 3 or 4, whatever it is, equals to 1.445678, whatever it is. This is a float which has multiple values here. Okay, so for this, what you can do, f double quotation or single quotation. I have used single above, so I'm using double here. The value is, if you put the value is, and then in this curly brackets, if you put str3, then you're getting the whole value. If I don't want this, what you can do is simple. You can put a colon space dot how many values do you want. I want only two float values, so I'm going to put 2f. Okay, so then what happens after the decimal, you will get only two values of it. So this can also be done by using f function. So I hope everything is clear. And then these are maximum things that we use. There are other functions as well, other inbuilt functions as well. Does the string start with, does the string end with, ends with, starts with, is it a number, is it a numerical, is this string has all letters, like this. We have multiple predefined functions. We have to understand and implement them while we are learning or while we are doing the project. So next is operations. So after this thing, we know the numericals. So what are the operations? There are multiple kind of operations in Python. Arithmetic operations, arith- arithmetic operations, where we usually add, subtract, multiply, divide, modular division, take a power of something or a square of something or whatever it is. We can do that. We can make that possible using arithmetic. Okay, so there's also comparison operations. Comparison, is it greater than or is it lesser than, greater than, lesser than, or equals to, greater than, equals to, anything comes under comparison. Logical, we'll understand one by one what is arithmetic. So for first arithmetic, I'm going to again put a comment line, so it would be easy for you guys to understand as I upload this material for my GitHub. Okay, so this is arithmetic functions. You know all of these functions. I'm going to put A, B, C, something like this. A equals to 1 plus 2, B equals to 2 minus 1, or you can even replace it with with variables, value 1, value 2. Let me create val 1 and val 2. Val 1 comma val 2 equals to 3 comma 5. Let me just do this. So these are my values, and then A, B will be, I'll put it as the add equals to, addition equals to val 1 plus val 2, and then subtraction, sub equals to val 2 minus val 1. Similarly, multiplication, mul equals to val 1 multiplied by val 2. Similarly, you also have division, div. Similarly, you have division, which is div equals to val 2 divided by val 1. We also have modulus, mod. What is modulus? As in division, we'll get the whole value of dividing in the point formats, but in mod value we will get only the remainder of it. Val 2 modulo divided by val 1. Okay, so we also have power. For example, POW equals to, if I want val 2, power is like 2 times multiplication of val 1. Okay, so now I'm going to print all of them here. First is add, subtract, and then multiply, and then division, and then mod, and then power. Right? I'm going to print all of them. First is add. 3 plus 5, we know it is 8. Subtract. 5 minus 3, we know it is 2 again. And then multiplication. We know 3 into 5 is 18. And if you divide 5 divided by 3, it is 1.66. We know that as well, where the remainder would be 2 again. So 6666. And again, we are going to get, after division, we have mod. Mod is the remainder of it, only the remainder. So as you divide 3 only one times, we'd be having 3 in 5. So remainder would be 2. So that is 2. And power, 5 to the power of 3 is 125. So similarly, there are multiple other, so these are all arithmetic operations that we have in Python. So let us now understand about comparison operator. Here we have val 1 and val 2. We are just putting, for comparison operator, we get output as a true or false according to the values. If I put as a val 1 equals to comparison is 2 equals to, if you want to check if there are equals to, if you're assigning the value to the variable, then only one. For example, this is a variable add, and we are assigning the value of addition for these two values, so this is an assignment operator, only one. But here we have an equals to operator. For checking the equals, we'd be having 2 equals to here. Okay, so this is going to be val 1 is val 1 equals to val 2. We are checking it. So the output of it would be a boolean. What's a boolean? As we discussed, boolean is a true or false statement. Okay. So we can either do this. This is sorry. Then I can do greater than or equals to. Is it greater than or equals to? Than false. You can also do lesser than or equals to. So this val 1, which is 3, is less than or equals to 5. That is true. Similarly, we have, what do we have? We have equals to. This is an for checking equals to. We have greater than or equals to. We have lesser than or equals to. Okay. We have not equals to also. So this is an exclamation and equals. Similar to this, but not has this one. Okay. You can even try this. Val 1 is not equals to val2. Okay, we are checking if that is not equals to, yes, that is not equals to, so that would be true. These are all the comparison operators in Python. Operators. So typically these logical operators give us true or false. There are there are three logical operators. One is AND operator, other is OR operator, and NOT. Okay, so let us understand one by one. First is AND. If, for example, my A value equals to, I am assuming it as true. All right. We don't want indentation. So A equals to 2 and B equals to, let me say, false. F-A-L-S-E. Okay. So if A is true and B is false, we are going to put A and B. Alright. So true and false. So for and, both of them should be true. Then only we get output as true. If not, all of the other conditions are false. Okay. So this would give us false. If in case if this is a true, then only we'll get false. If A is also false, B is also false, then also answer will be false. Okay. So if here I am going to put one more thing for OR. A or B. Okay, so that will be true. If either of one is true, then the answer would be true. If both are false, that is the only case where we get false. All right, so not. I'll put it as not. Let us test for B. Not B is, B is false, so not false, that would be true. Now let me check this as not B is true. Let me check A and not B. A and not B will be true and true, right? A and, sorry, A and not B. Okay, so this is a true. True and true gives this. So you can even put a brackets here to make it more clear or readable. So here you can also do this. This is a true. If I put true or B is again false. So true or false, we get true again. So it can also be nested. The logical operator can also be nested. This is how logical operator works. So bitwise, for bitwise operator also we have, actually we have four of them. Let us understand them one by one. All right. So sorry, bitwise operator. For bitwise operator, let us understand the first one is AND operator. Here the AND bitwise operator is represented by an ampersand symbol. This is the ampersand symbol, which is an AND bitwise operator. So I told you we can put as a multi-line comment, right? So I'm going to put it as multi-line comment here. Bitwise operator. Here, bitwise operator, there are six of them. One is bitwise AND operator, bitwise OR operator, bitwise XOR operator, bitwise NOT operator, and left shift and right shift. So here we are going to convert the number into a binary digits and then do the AND operation or operation XOR for those binary digits and then convert the resulted binary again into the decimal digits. Okay, that's what we do in this bitwise operator. So the first one is AND operator. Here I have taken two variables, A equals to 3, the value is 0, 1, 1, and B equals to 5, the value is 1, 0, 1. Okay, so if I do A AND operation, this is bitwise AND operation B. So here these are the values, right? So AND will be 1 if both the digits are 1. That's what we did in logical AND also, right? If both are true, then only we get true. So this both are false. So first one would be 0 and this also both are, let's say this also both is 1 and 0 different. So false, 0 and 1. So the ultimate output is 0, 0, 1. My answer should be 1, right? So that is A and B. Similarly, you can do for A or B as well. A or B. Alright. So if you do A or B, you will get A or. OR operator is you'd get 1 even if one of these values is 1. So here see we have 1, 1 and 1. All three ones. All three 1 which means the value is 7, right? See this is a tuple again which is 7. Alright. So next we have a XOR. XOR is like if you have a different values 0 and 1 then you'll get 1. If you have if you have same values then you'd get 0. Let me see that. A cap, you can see shift and 6 and B. All right, so this is the value of 6 wherein 110, right? For 110 you see if the values are same 1 and 1 you'd get 0. If the values are different you'd get 1. Okay, so I'll write once again. And then we have not. It's always does the bitwise not operation, and the signs are also changed. If it is positive it's going to change into negative. For example 3 here we have 0 1 1, so it would be bitwise 1 0 0. If it is 1 0 0 that is 4, right? And the sign also would be changed. So if I do not a, then it would be minus 4 because 0 1 1 would be changed into 1 0 0 and minus sign would be added. So minus 4. Okay. And there is another one, left shift. We are going to see left shift or right shift. So we are going to shift how many number of digits that we are going to specify. For example, A, I'm going to A, left shift of it, one digit, only one digit I'm going to do. So this is going to go to the left, so remaining would be 0. So if it goes to the left, that means it would be 110. 110 is apparently number 6. Let me see if it is true. Yes, it is true. So similarly, A equals to right shift of 1. If it right shifts, then it would be value of 1. Okay. So if you did not understand, let me explain again. Here itself. So first let us see A and operator B, right? So A is 3, value is 0, 1, 1. So if it is 0, 1, 1 and the B value is 1, 0, 1. So here what happens? Both should be 1. So this both is 1. So it will become like this. And this is different 0 and this is different 0. Both should be 1. So this is for AND operation, which is ultimately answer is 1. Similarly, like this you have for the B operator, for AND operation as well. Sorry. Similarly, you have for OR operation. For OR operation, what happens? Either 1, if it is 1, either one of the digits is 1, then the answer would be 1. This is 1, 1, 1. 3 ones, ultimately the answer is 7. Similarly, for XOR, which means if both digits are same, if it is 1 and 1 or 0 and 0, the output would be 0. Okay, if it is different 0 1 or 1 0, then the output would be 1. That is what for XOR operation. Okay, so not operation, we will change the symbol and each of the digit will be changing. If it is 1 it becomes 0, if it is 0 it becomes 1. So that's how we are going to see the bitwise operations. I hope. Now there is one more operations that we are going to check. These are assignment operators. When we are assigning the value, okay, ASSIGNMEN, assignment operators. When we are, for example, x equals to 5. Let us take this value. Here I am assigning the value of 5 to x. This is an assignment operator. Okay. So you can assign a string, you can assign anything here. For assignment operator, there is only one equals to. Alright. If I want to add to the value of x, that is addition assignment operator. So I can put x plus equals to 1. So actual value of x was 5. Now I'm adding 1 to it, right? So then what happens? The value of x would be 6, right? Now what if I do? We also have subtraction assignment operators. Similar to all the arithmetic operation, we can do assignment operators as well. Minus equals to 1. So value was 6. Now it's going to be 5, right? So now 5. If I do minus 2, uh, so if I do minus 2, then it would be 4. You can give anything to this value. Even not only here, also you can give it as a variable. Instead of 1 and 2, here also it can be replaced as variable. Similarly, you can do multiplication assignment, multiply equals to division equals to anything. Okay. So there are other assignment operators like multiplication equals to, division equals to, and even modulus equals to. There are even there is even modulus equals to. Okay. Modulus sign, what does modulus do? It will give the reminder, right? So these are all the assignment operators that we have. Other than assignment operators, now what did we discuss so far? We discussed arithmetic operation, we discussed logical operation, we discussed comparison operation, we did discussed bitwise operation and assignment operation. There is one more called as membership operation. So this membership operation actually is for Python, especially for Python, where you can check if the value is inside something. Now let me create a value called as list one, where I'm giving 1 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so these are all the values in the list. So I can check is 5 in list. Okay, sorry, 5 in list. So if I do that, then it gives us true. If the particular value is inside, then it gives us true. If I check like 10 in list, then it gives me false. This is called as a membership operator. Okay, there is also a membership operator called as not in. So instead of doing in, I can do not. I'm sorry, not in. If I do not in, it gives true, because 10 is not inside the list. That is a true statement. Okay, this is called as membership operators, where we have two things in the membership operator. One is in and the other is not in. So these are all the operators that we'd be using in the Python during the programming of data science. Okay, so next is accessing first element of list, second element of tuple, third element of set. So actually I have created this list tuple and set here. I'll copy this and put it here. We know that we have for a list or tuple or set, these are all zero index, just like string. Starts from 0, ends at length of the list or tuple or set minus 1. Okay, so if I want to here we need first element of list. For getting first element of list, list of 0, 0th is the first element, right? So that's it. And second element of tuple, we can access the element, we can see what's the element. So tuple is immutable, but we can access the element. So tuple, sorry, tuple, this is the tuple. I want the second element, so second value is second minus 1, second that is 1. Okay, so here that is 1. And the third element of set, third element of set is set of, third element is 2 minus 1, that is. So here you see, though we did access a list and a tuple with this square brackets and giving index, but set is actually throwing a type error. So we cannot access a set by using the indexing. The sets does not support indexing. So what we can do instead of that is, We can access using a for loop, just like we do here. We'd be understanding about for loop, then I'll come back here to show you how do we access it. Okay, so after this we also have to understand the input function. Now if I'm doing here, until now what I did, I assigned these values of list and variables, everything by myself during the coding. Okay, what if I want to give it while I was running the program? Okay, then we have a function called as input function. It is simply input and what you want the user to understand. Enter any value. Okay. So this is a text that would be displayed before inputting. Okay. So what, see, when I run it, it is so it shows enter any value. So if I put 5, enter, then the value would be 5. Okay, automatically by default input function, whatever you give to input function is actually a string. Okay, by default it's a string. So if I put type of it, type of this input function, you will see, if I put 5, see, that's a string. All right, whatever you input in it, that will be a default string. So if you want the value to be definitely an number, then you have to convert it. The conversion should be done int of input. So see, if I put 5, that's a 5. If I put the type of it, automatically now we have converted it already. So this is an integer. Okay, this is an int. So this input function, we have to remember, input function is a function which default gives the value that we input as a string. If you want it as a number, you have to convert it into a number. If you want it as a float, you'd be converting it into a float. So this input function, we can use all the things while learning in the from the front itself. Okay, so now we are going to understand about conditional statement. If in the programming I have to check for the condition, like using a logical condition, logical operator condition, or bitwise operator condition, that can also be all be done in if conditions. Okay, so if I put the number here, I'm going to use input condition now because we've learned about input. Let us put x equals to input of enter the value, or I'll put int of input of enter the value. Okay. So if my value of x is greater than 10, okay, then only I'm going to print it as greater than 10. Greater than 10. Alright. So I'm going to only put if my value is greater than 10. So here I'm going to enter the value, it is 5 only. So see, cannot so here I'm going to put 5. So that is no output. Okay. So if again I'm going to do it like 15. Now if I do 15, it's showing this as greater than 10. Okay, because it is the 15 value is greater than 10. So this is an if condition. Similar to this, we also have an if else condition. What happens if the condition is false? Now, if the condition is true, we are going to do this. If the condition is false, then we are going to put an else statement. Here you see, we are not putting any semicolon. If you people know coding like for other languages like C, C++, we'd be doing semicolon. SQL also has a semicolon, but in Python we don't have semicolon, so we use indentation. Indentation is a technique where we separate the values by using space. So here whatever statement that you use will be here indented here. This is the space that we use for every statement in if condition. Okay, so this is a place that we use before if condition. If you want to get out of the if condition also, you have to start from here. Okay, this is an indentation. So in Python we have indentation, so you should make sure what are the spaces that you are using. So else I'm going to print lesser than 10. So this is a lesser than 10 value. So if I put the value of 5, then it is lesser than 10. That's how if else condition work. Now if we have multiple conditions, we can do that as well. I'm just going to copy the above so I don't waste the time, because already we have I have consumed a lot of time. So this is L if is like else if that is not the condition. If x is lesser than 10 and x is greater than 5, that means it is in between the value of 10 and 5, then you can print it as lesser than 10 and greater than 5 times. Okay, so this is lesser than 5. If I put the value as 8, so that is lesser than 10. Multiple condition. Like this, you can put multiple if conditions, multiple elif condition. Elif. If you know earlier languages, we used to use this else if, but here this is elif. All right. So we have understood about if condition. You can even do nested if. Inside one if, you can put another if. Inside that, you can put another if to check multiple conditions, or you can just use a logical and operator where this condition and this condition and this condition is true, then follow the statement. If not, go to else statement, something like this. Okay, for loop. Okay, so for loop is these are all loop statements. What is a loop statement? If I want to repeat something again and again, I would not have to type the code all the times. For example, if I want to print Python for 10 times. Okay, so this is what I have to print, but I have to print it for 10 times. Then should I just copy and then paste it all for 10 times? Okay, should I do this? Should I do this? This is gonna consume more time, right? So instead of this, these are for loops that we are going to use to print the statement that many times. Okay, so first let us understand about the first thing, that is for loop. Okay, for this for loop has for variable name I. This can be replaced as I, J, K, repeat. I'm going to put it as repeat. Okay, repeat in range of 10. That means for repeat in range of 10, in the range of 0 to 10. Range function starts from 0 if it is 0 and ends at 10 minus 1, that is 9 times. 0 to 9, that is 10 again. Okay, and here it ends with colon, and then here we have indentation again. This is the indentation, the space that is inside the for loop. Whatever the statements inside the for loop should follow this indentation. So that many times we are going to print. See here, Python is printed for 10 times because I have given range 10. Okay, so if you want 2, you're going to give 2. All right, so for a variable in this range, this can be a range, can be a list. This is typically an iterable. Okay, so for an iterable, you can use this. Here I had created one of the list, right? List, this is the value of list. So I'm going to use this. Let me show you how. This is my list. Okay, for I, or for val in list. This is my value in the list. I'm going to print val, which means, well, first we are going through the list. This is an iterable. In this iterable, val is the first one. First we are going to put the val value will be 1. Next, the val value will be for next iteration. Next time this for loop repeats, the val value will be 2. Next, it would be 3, 4, 4, 4, 5. Let us see. Okay, so that's how we are going to use the for loop. If not, what should I have be done? I have to do a list of 0, print list of 0, print list of 1, print list of 2, and so on. But using this for loop, my work have reduced, right? So you can use for val in a list. This can be an iterable, this can be an iterable, It can be a list, it can be a tuple, it can be a range from this to this. Okay, I can also do a range. Let me explain you this range function. For x in a range, this range starts from it. For example, I want to start it from 5 to 30 or 300, anything, and I want to print every third number from it. Okay, so how do I do it? If I'm going to put every third number, that is the last one, and then I'm going to print of x. See, first we are going to print the first value. This is the starting value 5, and then every third number. After 5, the third number is 8. Okay, and then 11. Until where we are going to go? We are going to go until 30 minus 1. Okay, if I put 29, here 29 is not going to print because we are going to do that value minus 1. So the range is 28. Alright, so that's how the range function would be affected. This is a for loop. For loop would be looping across the iterable. Alright, so what is the value that the iterable has? That would be put into this val or repeat or x, I, anything. Okay, so now let us understand about while loop. Typically this while loop would print until that is true. You are not going to put any iterable here. You can put an iterable, but you are going to put a condition that is true. Okay, so while, let me put a value x, while x is lesser than 10. All right, so I'm going to put the value x equals to 0 initially, and then I'm going to print the value of x. Here also we should have colon print value of x. All right, okay, so here you see what I did here. If we did this in the for loop, it would have directly given me the output 0 1 2 3, but here the value is 0, but we are not increasing the value to another number to stop the iteration. That is also important. Okay, so actually I have to as you see, this have interrupted my program because there is no end to it. Yeah, there was a system crash because of the endless loop that was running. So here I am without the increment or decrement so that it meets the ending condition. While loop runs forever, because while true it runs forever, right? So here we are going to put while x is lesser than 10, then we are going to print x, right? So I'm going to initialize the value of x to 0, and then while x is lesser than 10, then I'm going to print x first and then increment the value of x using the assignment operators where x equals to x plus 1. So x plus equals to 1. So this is the addition assignment operator, right? That we've discussed earlier. So now value of x would be increasing. So here it would print only until 0 values. But earlier it was printing 0, 0, 0 until infinite times. So this is how loops work. So here we have discussed about condition, loops and iterables and values, variables. So list, we have discussed the basic values of list, tuples and this as well. And yeah, these are all the topics that we've discussed. Actually, I had in class of doing the problem as well. So I think this is it. Yes. So here there are question and answers. There will be questions. We'd be doing questions according to the concepts that we have learned in today's class. We'd be doing that, and that would be posted in the next video. So stay tuned, click on subscribe and click on the bell icon to get the notification of every class that you receive from Data Sci with Navi. So bye bye. And you can also get these videos of in class and the practice and everything from my GitHub page. You can visit my GitHub page from the description, You can, and it would be great if you could show love by clicking on likes, that and commenting if there is anything that is to be improved from my class, as this is the first class that I'm taking talking to the video cam. This is a little bit different for me, so I'd love to hear appreciations from you and feedback, of course, in the positive way. Feedback from you in the comment section. I read everyone's comment and comment in the comment as well. So yeah,